This show contains material that is not suitable for all audiences. The following story is intended for entertainment purposes only. This one was nice. Didn't get thrown on my head. Oh, and we're inside. Wow. It's because the book didn't bring me to this one. Can't trust that book. I also still don't know how I got here, but it looks like we're at another story. We must have a storyteller. Where are they? Oh. I know this one. This one's mine. Well, here goes nothing. So at this point, it was about 4 years ago, 4 or 5. We had probably been in this new house for about a year, I think. So there's quite a few of us living in the house right now, but we're very fortunate. We all got our own rooms. So it was a normal night, getting ready to go to bed, and I fell asleep like always. Kind of an anticlimactic way to start a story, but that's just how it went. Now, during this time, someone very close to me was going through something very heavy, just not a good time in life for them. So there was a lot of heavy darkness surrounding this person, who also happened to live in the same house as me. That's going to be important later, that's why I say it now. But let's get back to me falling to sleep. So I was asleep. It was about 3 a.m. when I felt something weird on my neck. Now, the way my room is set up, I have my bed pushed all the way in a corner. So one side of the bed on my left side is a wall, and then off to the right is the rest of the room. And I'm a stomach sleeper, so I was sleeping on my stomach, and I felt something weird on my neck, something that was bothering me enough to wake me up. And as I'm trying to come to, I hear really deep laughter from an older woman right behind me. Right behind me. And so I'm trying to wake up. At this point, I know that this is not a nightmare or a dream. I am awake, but still kind of in that halfway state. And I can feel like somebody is sitting on my bed with me. So I slowly move my head to the left where I can feel somebody sitting and where I can hear them laughing. And that thing, it was still tickling my neck. There were little fingers tickling the back of my neck. And it seemed to be enjoying this, apparently, because its laughter wouldn't stop. And when I turned around, all I could see was a big black hoodie. Like something super short, maybe 3 feet tall, was crouched right next to me on my bed, wearing a black hoodie, which happened to look like this person who is very close to me that was going through that rough time in life. So because I'm half asleep, I assume it's this person. We'll call this person James. So I think this is James. And I look at them, realizing now as I'm coming to a little further, this isn't James. They're not messing with me. This isn't something they would do anyway, but when you're half asleep and there's something strange sitting on your bed, you kind of hope it's just a person messing with you and not whatever this is. So this is all happening within seconds, right? Something's tickling my neck. I hear the deep, deep laughter. and I turn around, see it crouching on my bed, and I can even see the bed like indenting where this thing is sitting. And as I realize it, I kind of sit myself up a bit and look at it even further. It realizes that I have realized it's sitting there, and it runs off my bed. But I'm still like laying down how I was, so my stomach is still on the bed. I just slightly lifted my head up further. And as it's getting off my bed, I can feel it step on the back of my right ankle. And then I can hear it thud onto the ground. And at this point, I'm awake now. I sit up all the way and watch as it just happily frolics out of my room. And there was like a night light coming through, so you could just see a blue light casting its shadow. And this black hoodie that it was wearing was extra big. It looked like a toddler was wearing somebody, like an adult's sweater. So it was huge, and the arms, I just remember the arms being really long. And as it like literally skipped out of my room, it was swinging the sleeves. But you could tell inside its arms were a lot longer than a human's would be at that size. So it's swinging its arms, and as it walked out of the room, I don't know why I knew, but I just knew that it lived in James's room, and it wasn't gonna hurt James, but it was part of that darkness, and it was like feeding on that darkness. So this whole thing, it maybe lasted 2 minutes, probably not even that long. Feels like an eternity when you look back at it. But I don't know how. I remember grabbing all of the Bibles I had in my room, crying because I was terrified. I put the Bibles on like every corner of my bed and went underneath the covers, covering everything, especially the back of my neck. And I think I was just so exhausted that I ended up knocking out for a little while, and it never came back. Now, when I woke up the next morning, I kind of was able to digest what had happened a little more. And what I realized is that whatever this thing was reminded me of what I had heard throughout my family was called the Duende, which I think is like a Latin American folklore. And at that time, all I knew about a Duende is that they are these small goblin-like creatures who are pretty diabolic, like they're at least connected to evil some way, and they enjoy chaos. And it just was very fitting for everything that was happening in James's life, and I was always kind of more of the protector of James, so it would make sense that it would try to pick on me to scare me. Now, just before I recorded this, I actually decided to look into what the internet said a duende was. And sure enough, said it's a goblin-like creature who has connection to an evil side, and it likes to create mischief. But the part that I really was uncomfortable with when I read it was that, I mean, there's different versions of it, but this is the version that made sense, is that it apparently lives in the walls of homes, comes out at night, and it gets very, very close to those sleeping, like it'll sit on your bed. It's literally something that I read on one of the articles. So I don't know, I don't know that I will ever know exactly why it was there, but it visited me that night, and it is one of those things that when I retell it, I can just feel the goosebumps coming back, and I just pray that it never comes back. To anyone out there who has their own true story of the unexplained, if you'd like to share it, I would love to hear it. Go on over to talesfromthewindweaver.com and submit your story. There, you can choose to tell the tale yourself or have a narrator read it for you. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Tales from the Windweaver.